Hi guys, welcome back to Waxing On. It's Friday, and that means anything goes. And today we're looking at another band from Vancouver. If you remember a couple weeks ago, we talked about the Powder Blues Band, kind of a jumping, happy, bluesy swing kind of band with a great horn section and some great original tunes. Today we're looking at another band that started out in Vancouver called Doug and the Slugs. Again, a lot of original material, some great songs that we'll talk about in just a second. And they recorded about a handful of albums, did a lot of touring through the clubs. I think they won some awards, but they really didn't click like you would expect. The music's hard to describe. I don't know what you would say. It's kind of swing, it's kind of 40s, it's kind of Tex-Mex, it's a little bit of like reggae or ska sound to it. It was very hard to define, but it's very catchy. A lot of the tunes written by the leader, Doug Bennett, and as you listen to it, I'll tell you, Doug Bennett could turn a phrase. He had a way of putting words together that they just rolled out off the tongue like they should. I mean, there were some great memorable lines he wrote, and he was just an excellent composer. And really, a lot of the success to the band, in my opinion, is his writing and his performing of the songs. I mean, he was the leader, he was the voice of the band. Now, this band, back in the mid-'80s, they got a gig doing a theme song for a TV show. Some of you may remember it was called Norm, and it featured Norm Macdonald. Another Canadian that had gone down was a member of Saturday Night Live and was usually relegated to doing the Weekend Update. Norm was also big in the poker circuit. And in recent years, he was found on the show The Middle playing Mike Heck's brother. Well, he had a show called Norm, and they took one of the songs from Doug and the Slugs called Too Bad as their theme song. So you may remember it from there. If not, check out YouTube. I mean, it's one of a great song that kind of gets in your ear and you just can't stop humming it. Let's take a look at the band firstly. Here's kind of an idea of who's playing in the band. A lot of players, Doug Bennett, middle of the top up there, really the leader and writer and singer. We've got John Burton on guitar, Rich Baker on guitar, Steve Bosley on bass, Simon Kendall on drums, and John Wally Watson on drums. We've got people from the Nylons. We got Sean Jackson and Corlina Phillips doing some background vocals. But the band was really, really on fire. They had two albums that came out. The first one was Cognac and Bologna, and the second one was this one called Wrap It Up. Probably the first two albums they put out. And these were the ones I'm most familiar with, the ones that I listen to a lot. A couple of songs on here that stand out that people may recognize: Dangerous, Real Enough, The Wrong Kind of Right, Partly from Pressure, Just a Little Bit Embarrassed, Forget About Me. Chinatown Connection was on the first one, Too Bad. Some great tunes. Now, the band only put out a handful of albums. Unfortunately, Doug Bennett passed away way too soon, and you know that's happened with a lot of our musicians as well, so we didn't get to see how they developed over the years. This material is taken from the late 70s, early 80s. If you check online, they do have one called Slugology. It's kind of like a greatest hits package. I know it's available on the streaming networks. I know it's available for purchase. I have it as a digital download on my telephone, but there is stuff out there if you look. They don't have as much material as you'd expect on the streaming networks. This may be one of the few things. I think Cognac and Bologna is on there as well to go back and hear their early stuff. But it was just an excellent band that was kind of forgotten about. I mean, local people knew it. It was kind of a club scene band, but they did do quite a few albums. And again, they had that Norm gig, so they have had exposure, but it didn't really take off like some of the bands like, let's say, Bare Naked Ladies or Powder Blues had. But certainly very underrated because Doug Bennett's work, and again, I come back to that as a writer, he could turn a phrase, he could write a song that just stuck with you. It really hit. And I don't think a lot of people appreciated just what he could do and you know what he was able to accomplish with this band. So if you get a chance, check them out. Band called Doug and the Slugs. Sometimes that name kind of turned people off, they thought too, but they stuck with it. The album I have on hand here is Wrap It Up. My other one was on cassette, which if you've been following the show at all, you know I don't know where my cassettes are, but they're someplace around. But luckily, digitally, we can now access a lot of this music. So that's a great thing. I find even with this program I'm doing, a lot of the albums I'm talking about are from the 60s, the 70s, some are even further back than that. But a lot of that material is still available now. 10 years ago, you wouldn't have had a chance. You'd be looking in discount bins, yard sales to try and find it. Now so much of it is available to us just by a click of the button. So no reason not to go back and check out some of these other bands. And a great thing now, if you're on a streaming network and you're paying your subscription, it really costs you nothing to view as much as you like. And just a reminder, if you are using streaming networks, check them out. Some of them pay the performers a little better than others, so make sure the musicians get their kick out of this. Okay, that's it for this week. Doug and the Slugs today. Everybody have a great weekend. Everybody take care. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you again on Monday.